All right, well, I think that works. This is the first time I've set up live in a couple of years. Last time I did this was years ago. So I don't know if the volume is working. I tried testing it the other night, but once I ended it, it didn't save the stream, so I wasn't able to check the audio. Just gonna make this little picture a little bit bigger. There we go. So Betty isn't with her babies yet. She's over here eating. Yeah. One second. This is really funny. A lot of times when there's 3 or 4 of the pugs out, they'll actually line up. You'll see them form a lineup. And the one time the lineup went this way, there was Betty, and then I think there was one of the whites. But either way, Winston was the second one in the lineup. And when it was his turn to eat, he moved forward and he started to eat. And then the ones behind him moved ahead because they'll like literally form a lineup. But when Winston was done eating, he looked behind and it's like he saw them lined up waiting to eat. And he just had that moment where you realized, he's like, no. And then he lied down in front of the bowl. So the next one wasn't able to move forward. I'm like, no, Winston, you can't do that. So then I went and I picked up Winston and I took him away, and then the lineup continued to move. But yeah, it's funny when there's like 3 or 4 of them out, they'll literally line up for the food. But anyways, let's go back here. This is where the babies are. I don't know why there's an echo. 1 second. Oh boy. All right, I got a little bit of a couch potato here. Before I go try to do some close-ups of the puppies, I'm going to show you right here. This is next to me. This is me right here. And I've got a little bit of a couch potato here. This is Coconut. She's sitting with Winston's teddy bear. But yeah, she's right here next to me. If you see the camera move, it's just because I have my webcam on a tripod. And when the dogs walk by, sometimes they bump the leg of the tripod. But I mean, I'm doing the video because of the dogs in the first place. So I'm not going to tell them, oh, stay away or don't touch, because they're the stars of the show. Oh, Dixie, what are you doing? I don't know why she does that. She'll take the food out of the bowl, turn around, drop it on the floor, and then eat it off the floor. Right there. Instead of just staying at the bowl and eating. You do right. All right. Oh, and you can see the laptop here. This is where I was setting up the live stream. I'm using a Prism Live Studio. It's a program. It allows me to, like, for example, I could say I add the picture of the parents, and then I click next, and then it'll move it over to the live screen. So then it'll pop up on the feed. Or I think there might be a delay. Maybe, yeah, there it is. So there's about a 10-second delay. But I mean, I'm just learning how to do all this. So, I mean, I'm never going to have one of those channels that has nice edited videos. One, I don't know how to do it. And two, even if I did know how to do it, there's no point. This is not the kind of channel where I'm going to be trying to get thousands of subscribers and asking people to like, comment, and share. That's not what this channel is. This is a channel that is just for people that are interested in either seeing what our pugs are up to, or people that are interested in seeing babies that are for sale, or ones that are still available. Sometimes, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, do you have a picture?" And then I'm like, I'll send them a picture, but now I'll be able to have maybe a 3-minute video of each puppy and stuff like that, and I'll be able to send them a link to the video. So potential pug mums and potential pug dads will literally have videos that they could go back, even after they take their dog home at 8 or 9 weeks old. They'll be able to go back and see when the puppy was 1 week old, eating from its mother, 2 weeks old, 3, and stuff like that. So that's what this channel is about. So I'm definitely not going to try to have, I don't need it monetized. I'm not gonna be trying to edit it where there's like fancy editing involved. No, this is just me with me and Terry and our pugs. That's what this is. Oh, and there's Casper. He's got his little belly band on because he's an unneutered male living with females, so he's constantly trying to mark territory because he's not neutered. Oh, there's Betty. She's peeking in. Oh, careful. I'll be Betty. I'm gonna just spin the pool around so she can walk in without stepping on them. Let me help you in. Go this way. There you go. So she's going in to see her babies. So they're all instantly going to start to wake up. Now, let me just downsize this picture a little bit, if I can. She's going to, or you know what? Maybe I'll move the picture. Hold on. That would be smarter, I think. Give me a minute. There. Okay, that should be better. Oh, Dixie. Come on. Dixie just bumped into the tripod. It's okay, I don't care. It's okay. It's okay if you bump the tripod. You're allowed to bump the tripod. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, calm down. So she's just licking them a little bit. If they start to go to the bathroom, then I'm going to use baby wipes because I don't want all that going into her stomach. It's not good for her gut health. Mums do it. It's natural. It's what they do. But in all honesty, when it comes to that, if you're there and you're watching, it's always good to get in there and get some baby wipes going, because the less that she consumes, obviously the better. But they are going to do it throughout the wee hours of the morning and stuff. I would say the first 12 days, these puppies are literally, there's not a minute they're not watched. I'll stay up till 5:30, 6 a.m. Terry's usually up at around 7. When Terry's at work, I'll watch them and vice versa. Right now I'm out of work, actually. I'm off work temporarily right now for different reasons, medical reasons, but that's got nothing to do with this video, so I won't get into it. But I would say the first 12, 14 days they're watched nonstop. In the incubator, they come out just for feedings and then they're right back in. But they're like a couple days past 3 weeks now, and they're in open air. There's still a heating pad underneath the pool, but they no longer need the incubator. For safety, if we're like gonna run to Walmart or something, we're still gonna put them in there. That way, there's nothing can happen to them. But aside from that, they're all doing really good now. They don't have to be expressed now after every feeding. If you watch some of the other videos, as soon as they're done eating, you take them and you hold them, and then you have to take little baby wipes and you have to rub in a circular motion and up and down around their little their bum and their pee-pee, and it helps them pee and poop. And the same thing happens when the mother stimulates them by licking them, right? Because they're not able to go on their own, and if you don't do that, within 2 or 3 feedings of not doing that, the puppy will become constipated. As soon as they're constipated, they just like flicking a light switch. The second they're constipated, they completely stop eating. And constipation, believe it or not, people that aren't experienced with puppies, it leads to the puppy passing away, because a lot of people, they don't weigh their puppies on a daily basis. So it's hard to tell if your puppy loses 10 or 12 grams in a 10-hour period. You're not going to notice that by the human eye. And then by the 24-hour period, they've lost 20 or 26 grams. And then maybe by day 2.5, day 3, that when you visually notice, oh my God, this puppy's losing weight, by then it's too late. And then even a vet would say, oh, it's a fading puppy syndrome. And sadly, when you bring a puppy that's under 10 days old to a vet, they do very little to help it. They just automatically say, oh, it's fading puppy syndrome, there's nothing you can do. Well, I had a lot of quote unquote nothing you could do puppies that, with giving them assisted oxygen and giving them tube feedings and around the clock care, I got to see that puppy, kept him for a few weeks longer. So at around week 10 or 11, I got to see that puppy move on to its new home, and I get update. Elsa, I'll get an update picture on her birthday and stuff. She's almost 4 years old now. And that was one puppy that a vet had deemed unsavable. Fading puppy syndrome, they said. And it was unsavable. That wasn't from constipation. That was from something else. But I got distracted. But yeah, believe it or not, if you don't express them and get them to go to the bathroom, constipation leads to stop eating, which leads to dehydration, which leads to, the price is death when you don't pay attention to them. This is that moment where there's way less stress now. They're 3 weeks old. They all eat independently. They'll push each other and fight over nipples. They're now starting to play fight. So when they're done eating, if they're not too sleepy, hopefully you'll be able to see that. It's called mouth games. Just about 2 days ago, they started doing it, and it's at around the 3-week mark. They start grabbing at each other and like they'll like paw at each other and then grab at each other, and it's just adorable. They're just learning how to play fight. In about a week, I'm going to they're going to be moved to a bigger area, and then they'll have little squeak toys and play toys that they can play with. But Betty, they can't even really get in there, Alphagetti. Okay, Coconut, I got to move you. This is bad. I've got 3 on my lap right now. I could barely move, and they're just couch potatoes. Look at this. Coconut. And then I got these ones over here. Cokie. What's she doing, Dixie? All right. I'm going to... I gotta move Coconut. I have to try to get Betty a little bit more organized. It looks like they're not able. Let me just. Are you on it? Oh, you are. Okay, you're just reaching over Domino. Alphagetti. There you go. She's like, come on, leave me alone. I know. You know what you're doing. You're a good mom. Oh, she's snoring. A lot of people feel bad for the mother. They're like, oh, poor thing, look at her. But in all honesty, we've had dogs that you could tell clearly did not enjoy being a mother, didn't want to be a mother. They were almost annoyed and bothered by their puppies. And for that reason, it's like, okay, this will be that dog's last litter. We're not going to breed that dog again. And then you get lucky and you have some dogs that really, really enjoy like being a mother. And we've finally got it down to right now, the females that are in our breeding line, even if they don't have puppies, because they all get along. Well, they don't. Sometimes they have the odd fight, but that's usually when there's a male around. But for example, say Dixie's doesn't have any babies at the moment. she'll like look for that eye contact and she'll look for that confirmation, and then she'll very gently step into the pool with, say, Betty's babies, and then she'll start helping her clean them or lick them or whatever, just check on them. And then when Dixie has her babies, then I notice Cupcake or Coconut will go and check on her babies, stuff like that. So the mothers are comfortable. They fall asleep. They get into a deep sleep when they're feeding their babies to the point that they're snoring. It doesn't hurt them. By the time their teeth start coming where it's going to hurt the mom, that's when we get them on the puppy mush. One of my next videos was probably going to, we'll show you the puppy mush and how we make it for them. If I can get the camera set up over there nicely, but if not, I'll just make it and then I'll just tell you what the ingredients are. I'll show it to you. But they're going to start puppy mush probably in a week and a half. They don't, if you look online, a lot of times people have a set time. At 3 weeks, like, okay, for example, the incubator. When they're born, have the temperature set for 86, the humidity set for 65. When they're 2 days old, you drop the temperature roughly to 83-ish, humidity to 60. By the time they're 10 days old, but I don't do that. I do that roughly, but I go by that particular litter because nothing can be set in stone. Some litters are different than others. So one thing is they say at 4 weeks, start them on puppy mush. We've had litters at 3.5, 4 weeks do fine on starting on the mush. But we've had some litters where 3 of the puppies will do fine on the mush, but 2 of them maybe aren't ready for it, and they have to just keep eating off mom until week 4.5 or week 5. So I don't really go just by the rule book, like you have to kind of be willing to have a little bit of a variance when it comes to the timing of things for the individual puppy. Like we had one, her name was, we give them all temporary nicknames, and her name was Quacker. She was 6 weeks old and she was still on puppy mush. She was 4.5, 5 weeks old, still eating off her mom. 6.5 weeks by puppy mush, and when all the other babies went to their new home at 8 weeks, we kept her back, and we kept her till she was 12 weeks. And by the time she was 12 weeks, she was where they were at when they were 8 weeks. So I only say that because I had just mentioned, in one of my next videos, I'll be showing you they'll be on puppy mush. We'll be moving them from this to a larger area, but that's all subjective. It could be in a week, or it might be a week and a half, depending on how these particular babies are doing. In all honesty, I think it'll probably be very soon because all of these babies are doing really good. They're all super healthy. They're all gaining a minimum 10% of their body weight every day, which is the minimum that you want them to gain every day. Anything less than 10% a day of their body weight after day 3 is a problem. And, like I said 100 times, the sooner you can see a problem, the better chances you have of fixing it before it turns into puppy loss. I say puppy loss, not that it doesn't count. It's death, and it's tragic and it's sad, but I just don't like to think about it too much, but it does happen. A lot of times when people don't know what they're doing, they're never going to tell you that. They're never going to say, yeah, we have no clue what we're doing. Our dog gave birth to 7 puppies. 4 of them passed away before they turned 4 days old because, we don't know what we're doing. They're never going to tell you that. Instead, they're just going to post an ad online and they're going to say, so-and-so wants to introduce you to her litter. We have 3 beautiful puppies. They're never going to tell you that they had 7 and 4 died because they don't know what they're doing, or they had 6 and 2 died. They're not going to tell you that. But that is the difference. A lot of people talk about backyard breeders or people that are in it just for the money. And I would say that's the difference. People that put their heart into it, get everything they need to give the puppy the best chance to not just survive, but thrive. And to always guess yourself. oh, am I doing it right? Or this is how I did it, but now some new information has come about. And like back when I used to be a veterinarian assistant, there were certain things that even the vet, Dr. Wee would tell me, this is years ago. And now some of that advice is technically no longer good. It's like the technology or science, they found out, no, there's a better way to do things. So you have to be willing to, I think, to be a good breeder and to separate yourself from the rest. You have to, one, you have to care about each and every puppy as if it's your own, because it's going to be somebody's baby. Two, you can't just breed to breed, right? If you have a dog that doesn't have good open airways or didn't pass all of its health tests, you don't breed that dog. I'm not saying it's a bad dog, but the dog's going to have some complications or has a higher chance of complications as time goes on. So that dog should be neutered or spayed and then rehomed as a pet. But you wouldn't want that dog to be sold as a potential breeder. And if you had it, you definitely don't breed that dog. You should never breed unless you're breeding to better the actual breed. If you're breeding just to simply have another one, there's lots that need a home, whether they be at rescue shelters or so forth. They're all out there. And that brings me to one more thing. A lot of people, you've heard them say, I need a sip of water, one second. I was talking to a husband and wife that were here just a few days ago about this. And then I realized, I've never mentioned it yet in the video. You hear a lot of people say, adopt, don't shop. And I know what that means. I was part of that for several years. When I used to live in Ontario, I worked at the Sudbury SPCA no-kill shelter, which was a total lie. They had big signs over their windows saying they were a no-kill shelter. They were lying to the public. They were euthanizing dogs and cats every day. It was heartbreaking. I understand the need for all of these animals to have a home, and I understand that anybody can go to a local shelter and get a dog, and it doesn't have to be a purebred to love. I'm not saying that these dogs are better than a mixed breed dog, but I think differently, and how I see that is if an individual, me for example, I wanted an English Bulldog my whole life. I was probably 7, 8 years old, and because of a cartoon or something, whatever, I don't know what it was, but I wanted an English Bulldog my entire life. And then I was a young adult, I had my first place, I got a rescue dog, and I had several different rescue dogs throughout my life, and I loved them all with all my heart. But then finally one day I had enough money, I had enough independence, I was an adult, I had my own place, my own money, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get an English Bulldog. I've wanted one my whole life. I'm going to go get one. And then I ended up not getting it because I looked more into it and I found out that they had a very short lifespan with a lot of potential problems. So then I ended up going with a different breed. But my point is, if just the average person wants a dog, just in general, yeah, by all means, go to the shelter, find the one that needs the home the most, and bring that baby home. And they're all good animals. But there's always, for every person that wants to go and find the dog that needs a home, there's always going to be that one person that their whole life they've wanted, say, a Doberman. And they've wanted a Doberman their whole life. And then their first marriage, they couldn't have it. And all of a sudden, they're on their own now. And they're thinking, you know what, I'm going to do something for me. That person, at that point, is getting a Doberman. They're not going to go to the shelter and cross their fingers, hoping, one, to find a purebred Doberman that's for sale, and then two, hope that it's a puppy so it has no previous bad experiences and that they can have it its entire life. Because the chances of that is almost minute. So if John Smith has wanted a toy poodle his entire life, he's not going to go to the shelter hoping to find a toy poodle that happens to be 8 to 12 weeks old. He's just not going to do it, and he's not going to find it. Not to say that there isn't a poodle cross that he would still love at the shelter. But my point is, people that are going to go to the shelter, they're going to go to the shelters. But people that are looking for a purebred French Bulldog, they're not really going to the shelter anyways. And someone who's looking for a purebred pug, and they're coming to say us, those people weren't going to the shelter anyways. But the other thing, when it comes to don't shop, adopt, the other thing I take exception to is there's just a lot of hate online for people that do breeding. And this is what I was talking to the other day, just to this couple that came to, I'll show you the dog they picked out in a minute. The average lifespan for most dogs are usually, certain breeds could be 8 to 12 and some are 12 to 16. And it varies breed by breed, obviously. And then even within the breed, there's going to be exceptions to that rule, where some live way longer than ever and some run into trouble very early on. It does happen, just like with humans, right? But let's just say, for argument's sake, a dog lived to be 20. Let's just say that all dogs lived to be 20 and none of them passed away before the age of 20. Just for argument's sake, let's just be really generous with the number and say that all dogs live to be 20. Well, if all breeders stop breeding today, and I'm talking all breeds, St. Bernards, English Mastiffs, Pugs, Frenchies, you name it. If every single breeder who was ethically breeding good, healthy dogs stopped breeding today, then 20 years from now, the last purebred would pass. And then 4 generations later, which is by the time our grandkids are like graduating, all the dogs are going to be roughly similar in size, because they'll all be mixed to the point that the genetics smooths out and they all become roughly similar in size. And then 3 more generations after that, by the time our grandkids are like married and on their way home from work, and if they call, hey honey, I'm on my way home, I'm thinking of picking up a dog for the family this weekend, the only question would be, do you want a male or a female? Because by then all dogs would be very similar in size and they would all be very similar in color and coat pattern, and it would just be considered dog, D-O-G, dog. And the only question would be, do you want a male or a female? And if their grandkids ever want to see a St. Bernard or a Pug or a Doberman or an English Mastiff, they would have to Google it or go on an old YouTube video, because they would never see one in real life. So I believe, yes, it's beautiful to adopt a lot of animals that need a home. But to just completely shit on the breeding industry is also very short-sighted, and you're not thinking long-term, because those breeds would become extinct, you know. And that brings me to one other thing. When it comes to a pug, a boxer, an English bulldog, a French bulldog, these are brachiocephalic breeds. There's a bit of a myth online. Many people are saying that they're plagued with nothing but problems and you know, massive vet bills, and they won't live that long. That's true, and it's false. And what I mean by that is, if they're bred poorly, yes to everything I just mentioned. You might be lucky to get 4 years out of that dog, and those 4 years, probably 2.5 of those years, you're gonna have nothing but vet bills. But it's also false, because if they're bred properly and they're treated well and you take care of them and they're fed properly and they're not overexerted, they could outlive your golden retriever that apparently is considered America's #1 perfect choice for a dog. My little baby Winston, I just lost him. He literally just passed away in February. I couldn't even talk about it for months without crying. But he would have been 16 on May the 5th. So last month, he would have been 16. And ironically, I did not lose him to old age. It was a tragedy. It was a terrible accident that happened here in the house. And on a different video, maybe I'll explain it one day. But he would see the vet the last Friday of every month, just because he was a senior dog, just so we could, if there was anything wrong, we could catch it early. And he had a standing appointment. The last Friday of every month, he would go see his doctor for an examination, an ear cleaning and stuff like that. And literally 2 weeks before we lost him, the vet had made a comment. He said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. He says, because he's perfectly fine. He says, for a soon to be 16-year-old dog, he said he's in incredible health. But Yeah. So when it comes to a brachycephalic breed, yes, there are issues, but many of those issues are moot if the dogs, both parents and grandparents, have passed certain health tests and they're fine. But again, if you meet your breeder in a parking lot and they just want the cash and pass you the puppy and drive away, yeah, you might be getting one of those dogs that you have a lot of problem with. But if the person that you're dealing with has no problem with you coming to their house and meeting not just the puppies, but meeting the parents, and if they have the grandparents on site, which we did at one point, you could have met the grandparents as well. That's different, right? And then seeing their health records and like, for example, this litter, we'll be looking into getting them DNA tested. The one place we were going with, we pulled away from because there was that ongoing possible male strike. But now that it's not a full-blown strike, we're probably going to go with them. Anyways, I don't want to get off topic. I don't have a script. I don't have even bullet points or anything set to talk about. So a lot of times I may get off topic. But let's go back to this litter. Betty's right here. She's just to the right of me. I don't know if you can see her because let me just take this picture away. I don't know if you can see her, but she's right here. This is Winston's teddy bear. Winston was my senior dog I was just talking about. So she's right here snoozing. Okay, Alphagetti. Oh boy, I'm going to show you babies now. We're going to talk about the ones that are available, and we're going to talk about the ones that are already taken. Yes. She doesn't care. Oh, that's one more thing. Before I get to the puppies. Okay, Alphagetti. Okay. Before I get to the puppies. I'm going back at least 15 years. I can't remember now. When Tara and I first started getting into breeding, at first we thought that the mums would just be devastated when it was time for their babies to leave. Like, how are we going to do this? And I'm like, oh my God, Terry, this is going to be heartbreaking. I couldn't have been more wrong, and I should have known this because back when I was younger and I used to work at the animal shelter, I was 14 and I was volunteering at the animal shelter, mostly weekends only. And I think they just used me to clean the cat litter boxes and spray down the dog cages kind of thing. I was just there to clean, right? And then by the time I was 16, I got my social security number. It became a part-time job, evenings and weekends. And then after high school, I stayed there for, I don't even know now, 3 years. And I became like a veterinarian assistant under Dr. Wheat and Dr. Jarvis. But shortly after that, I left because some of the things I started seeing once I got to that level was just too heartbreaking. And either way, that's neither here nor there now. But my point is, I guess the one thing I had forgotten is how much you want some water? Go get some water. Oh, and smash into the tripod. I forgot how much the mothers literally get fed up with their babies. Because I was talking to Terry, and when we first got into this years ago, and I thought, oh, the mother's going to be so sad. We'll have to distract her. We'll have to bring her out for treats. And every time a puppy goes to their new home, the mom's going to mope. She'll sow. But no, it's kind of sad in a way. When the babies are born, and I don't know for all breeds, but for pugs, I would say the first 12 hours, like literally the second the baby comes out, the mother looks at it like she just had a bowel movement and she walks away from it. She wants nothing to do with it. So you have to open up the sac. You have to clear out the airways. You have to stimulate the baby. You have to get the baby breathing. You have to dry the baby off. You have to put the baby on the nipple. You have to get the baby eating, everything. And as you're doing that, the mother's like almost trying to get away from the baby. Like, ugh, what is this thing? Get it away from me. And then when the second baby comes out, again, she looks at it like she had a bowel movement, tries to stay away from it. For the next 2 days, you have to make sure she stays still as she's feeding her babies, as she's trying to get away from them. By the time they have their second litter, not so much. Then they understand what's going on. When that baby comes out, they still look at it. They never take it out of the sack. You have to take it out of the sack. You have to do all that. By the time the babies are about 3 days old, that's when the mom becomes possessive about them. And she's like, what are you doing with my babies? If you go there and you put your hands in to wipe one or clean one, she's like looking, what are you doing? And then if another dog gets too close, she'll come running and she'll jump in to make sure that there's nobody between her and the babies. When you put the babies in the incubator, she'll sit on the floor, stare at the incubator, waiting for the next time she's going to feed her babies. By the time they're a week old, the mother's inseparable. All she wants is her babies. She won't, even when the babies are done eating, the mother won't jump out of the pool. She stays in there with them. And even if there's a heating pad and there's a heating light above them and the mother's panting and she's hot and the babies aren't even eating, they've finished eating and they're sound asleep, the mother still won't leave them. So then you have to take the mom out so you can go have some water so she doesn't overheat. By the time, Alpha Getty, no. By the time they're 2 weeks old, Dixie, come on. By the time they're 2 weeks old, the mother will go in. When it's time for them to eat, you'll give her babies. As soon as they're done eating, the mother will jump right out and won't even turn around, look, come back, check on them. And then you'll have to bring her and put her in when it's time for them to eat again. And the second they're done, she jumps right back out. And that's when they're at around 2 weeks. By the time they're 3 weeks old, she pretty well never visits them. You have to seek out the mother, grab the mother, bring her to her babies. Sometimes when they're eating, they'll still be in the middle of eating. And as they're in the middle of eating, she'll try to get up and you have to remind her, no, they're not done. And you'll have to keep her there until they're done eating. Sometimes she'll come and she'll lie beside the pool and she'll look at them, but she won't actually jump in the pool unless you put her in many times. And that's at 3 weeks. By the time they're 4 weeks old, the mother flat out tries to avoid them. So if some of them still need to eat from their mom, at that point, you have like one hand on the mom and holding the baby, and the mother's almost getting annoyed at that point. By the time they're 5 weeks old, the mother literally wants nothing to do with them. At that point, even if you tried to put them on the nipple, the mother will growl at them and snap at them and want away from them. So then at 6 weeks old, you're giving them their mush and their puppy food and all that stuff, and the mother doesn't even check on them, doesn't even visit them. By 7 weeks, same thing. By 8 weeks, the puppies are all running around playing. The mother will play with them for like 10 or 20 minutes. She'll play tug of war or she'll play with little squeak toys, and then she jumps up on the couch to get away from them, and then she doesn't want to play with them for the rest of the day. So by the time they go to their new home, the mother literally does not even care. She almost wants nothing to do with them by the time they're that age. But it's me, and it's Terry, and it's our kids that are upset when the babies go to the new home. So we were dead wrong. I thought the mother was going to be depressed and sad, and you have to do stuff to cheer up mommy when her babies leave, but it's the polar opposite. The mother's like, good riddance. And it's the people. It's the people that care for them that get upset and get attached to them. I mean, it's quite, let me just adjust this a bit. I think the camera got bumped. It's quite sad, to be honest. I've had many times where a puppy's left and I've regretted, you want to keep in touch. You want to see those puppies, but you can't bother them. You can't, so you just say your standard, we like updated pictures, or don't feel shy to call or text us anytime. And we like updated pictures if you have any questions. But the truth is you might get 1 or 2 update pictures. And there's many out there that you miss. Like one was Elsa. I regret selling her. That's one that I really wish we would have kept. She meant the world to me. Every now and then you sit and you go through old pictures and videos. And another one was Potato. We really, that's one and you can't keep them all, right? Like I'm telling you, if I had my way, I would be in the middle of nowhere and I would have 100 pugs with me. I just love them. But that's another thing too. You have to go by the city bylaws. So where we live, we're allowed 4 dogs. So we have 4 on site, right, within our breeding line. But now we're looking into doing where one of my son lives in an apartment, but he has like an entrance outside on the main floor. If he's allowed a dog, then what we could do is we could have one live with him, and so that could be like a guardian home where the dog, say it's a male, it would live with him, but not be neutered. So if we ever want to have that dog for breeding, we could then use that dog for breeding. It's called a guardianship home. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing guardianship homes with total strangers, but my oldest daughter would be a perfect guardianship home option. My mother and my middle son, but my oldest son currently wouldn't be able to because he's in the middle of flipping houses and he's moving lots. And my youngest son is with my oldest son, so he wouldn't be able to. So we do have 3 options as possible future guardianship homes, or maybe like a very trusted friend. I know they have contracts for guardianship homes, but I just wouldn't want to chance a guardianship home with a total stranger. But that brings us to, we stop getting off track and let's go to this litter. How long has the stream been on? I don't know if there's a way of checking that. Let me see. I'm looking on my computer, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm sorry if I'm babbling too much, but again, I don't have a script. I don't have a little sticky note with bullet points. I just figured I want to try to go live. I'm going to try to figure out if I could bookmark it. So then for people that just want to see the puppies and find out which ones are available, they'll be able to go in the below the video and click on it, and it'll bring them past all the talk, and it'll just bring them to where I'm showing and talking with the puppies. Let me take the picture of the parents off. And the reason I put that picture up is a lot of people may, if they watch this video at a later date, they'll be like, those aren't pugs. So I put that picture up because I wanted people to see that the father's a panda pug and the mother's a brindle, which explains why this litter, there's a panda pug, there's 2 kois and 3 merles. So a lot of people are just, those aren't pugs, but if you look at the father and the mother, that's why daddy's a panda pug and mommy is a brindle. Okay, let me take that picture off. Or I guess, no, I'll just leave it there because it's not really taking up that much room. Okay. And I have no way of checking. There's probably nobody watching right now. I'm assuming that this will probably be watched. Oh, it's 45 minutes. I just saw the timer on the bottom. So I'm assuming this is going to be watched by a couple of people down the road. If nobody's watching it live, I totally understand that. But if you are watching it live, I haven't figured out how to check the actual chat. I'm gonna have to figure that out, but right now I have on my laptop, I have the program open that I'm doing the stream with, and there's no chat option here. So I'll Google it, YouTube videos, and I'll try to figure that out. I just want to make it so if I ever get to the point that there's somebody that's actually watching it live, and they have a question, and if they type out their question, I want to be able to see the question and then answer it for them. So I'll have to figure that out. But even though this is live, this is still, I'm treating it just like a video. I'm making a video, and I'm sure that might have 30, 20 people maybe that'll watch it, but not live. They might watch it between now and the next month. And hopefully this catches on where people will be able to start seeing their babies. But I'm going to do some videos where you don't have to hear me talking about a bunch of stuff. There'll be videos where it's just, okay, this is little Johnny. Little Johnny's 8 weeks old, and you know, and it'll just be a 2-minute video just about that dog with a couple of good close-ups, and done. So then, if you're considering adopting that dog, you could, instead of me just sending you a picture, I could send you a link of that 2-minute video of that dog. Okay, so this litter, they're sleeping now. I put you to sleep in all my boring talk. Hey guys. All right, so there's 6 of them. I don't know if you can see well. Right here, down, I don't want to actually, I'll just hover my hand above them so I don't wake them up. There's no point waking them up right now. This one right here is Stuart. Stuart's already been sold. Oh, well, he's been reserved. So out of the 6, only 3 are available. So Stuart has been reserved by a couple that came a few days ago. Those are the ones I was talking to about the whole adopt versus shop or whatever. Yeah, I just have to wake him up. Little man, he's just too cute. Stuart was one that I wanted to hold back, to be honest. Now, there's little Stuart. Oh boy. Oh boy, Stuart. All right, he's really sleeping. So Stuart is a koi, and what a koi is when they have the panda gene and they have the merle gene, they're a koi. So that's little Stuart. He literally fell asleep in my hand. Oh my God. He's just too adorable. And I love this part from his shoulders down. Like just beautiful markings on you. Oh boy. And oh yes, in the face. Oh no. So that's little baby Stuart. And he's already been sold. Well, he's been reserved, but I'm pretty sure that they're sticking with him. They really seem to like him. So that's Stuart. And the other 2 that are no longer available is Waffles, which is this one right here. Oh, hi, sweetie. And the reason she's not available, oh boy, oh sweetie, oh no, okay. This is, oh boy, okay, sweetie, this is Waffles. I don't know if I can get her to look at the camera. Oh boy, that's Waffles. And if you hear breeders talking about holding back, that's just a stupid fancy term for saying we're keeping her. So Waffles, we're holding back, which means we're keeping her. She's going to be my baby. So very soon, when you see me doing little videos where I'm walking around the neighborhood and with the stroller, Waffles will be with her mommy in that stroller as she grows up. And then the other one we're holding back is this one. This is, well, we give them all temporary nicknames, but Stuart is just his temporary nickname, and they possibly might be keeping his name. They said they like it, so they might keep it. Waffles is a temporary nickname. It's actually another breeder that had a dog called Waffles, and me and Terry thought that name was so adorable. We thought, oh my God. And when she was born, I said to Terry, she reminded me of Waffles, like that, her little face. From the best of my memory of what their dog looked like. So for a joke, I made her temporary nickname Waffles, but I've been saying it so much, we might just keep her name Waffles. I'm not sure yet. But for this one, his temporary nickname is Rocky Road. And that's just because when he was born, he looked like that ice cream. Like he had that chocolate chunks look on him. Anyways, He's like a gray merle. It's like a silverish gray with black spots. I don't know if the lighting shows well, but even though his temporary nickname is Rocky Road, the name that we're now thinking about, if we keep him, I don't know if you can see, we're thinking of calling him S'mores. So if you're watching this, make a comment. Tell me what you think of the name S'mores as an option for him. So there'd be waffles, and s'mores. Oh boy. Okay, so after me talking for 45 minutes, the 3 close-ups I showed you are the 3 that aren't available. So obviously I'm not the best at this YouTube thing yet. Now let's go to the ones that are available. I just have to keep taking frequent sips of water because I don't have saliva right now because of the treatment that I just come off. So my mouth dries out really fast. Okay. So, I mean, again, if I had my way, I would have kept all 6 of these. This one's available. Her temporary nickname is Pistachio. Her backside, you can't see it maybe on the camera, but there's very subtle markings. When she was born, it was darker and it did lighten up. And it may lighten up even a little bit more. But the pattern almost looked like a hyena. But now it's lightened up a bit. But you can see it. It's just a lot lighter. But it doesn't matter because what makes her absolutely beautiful is her face. She has, I don't know if the camera is going to show it. Oh, there's that big yawn. But I'm looking at my monitor right now on the laptop, and yeah, it's not showing it that well. But she has like 3 different tones or shades on her face. Instead of a standard black mask, she has like a light brown, like a medium brown, and like a very dark brown up to black, spotted and scattered all around her face. And then on the bottom left of her chin, it's solid black right here. Oh boy. But she has just the most beautiful face. Like, it's so hard to, you'd have to see her in person to understand. Okay, sweetie. She literally, she has the sweetest little face, and it's a, uh-oh. Who's that? That's Auntie Coconut. Yeah. Oh boy. That's Coconut. That's not your baby, Coach. No, that's not your baby. That's Betty's baby. So yeah, it's her face that's absolutely. Oh no, Cookie's not right now, dear. Come on. She wants to clean them and whatnot. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, she really loves being a mother, and Coconut is constantly trying to help out with, even if they're not her babies. She'll jump in, she'll check them out, she'll clean them, and Betty has no problem with it. If she goes in with Dixie's babies, Dixie has no problem with it. I mean, they all know each other, they love each other. So we refer to her as the aunt, even though she's not related to Betty. Betty and her are like sisters. No, that's not your mommy, dear. Cokes, come on up. Come on up. Come on, Cokes. Come on. Okay, she's going to sit there for a minute. So I can't really get up because I have Dixie sleeping on my lap right now. Okay, so yeah, so I was showing you Pistachio. Pistachio back had a little bit of a pattern. It's still there, but it's very faint. She's lightening up as she gets older. Her ears are still dark, but it's her face. If you see her in person, okay, sweetie, you want to. Her face has like 2 different shades of brown and like a shade of black on her little face, and it's oh boy, and it's absolutely adorable. So I would definitely like to keep them all. Now, She's a female, by the way. So Pistachio is still available. We haven't posted an ad for them yet. Like, we had an ad saying there was an up and coming litter, but that's it. We haven't actually posted pictures of them yet. Because we weren't sure like which ones we were going to even sell, to be honest. But okay, so Pistachio is a female, and she is available. We'll be posting an ad probably maybe next week, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, Ghost, come on out. Come on, sweetie. I got you. Okay. Now, the next one is a male. And this, if you look at his back end, he's a koi. As the panda gene, the merle gene, makes him a koi. Basically, he looks like a little miniature Dalmatian. It was very just speckled when he was first born, from about here down. It was just speckled, a little bit of tiny little black spots. By the time he was 2 weeks old, the black was more predominant. It became a little bit more. So now it's like turned from speckled to patches. And then just below his right shoulder, he's got the one large black oval. But that's it. And the rest of him is white, except right here. His right ear. No barking. His right ear is black. And then his left ear is white, but the inside of his left ear is little black dots. And then he has on his, okay, little man, come on. I'm trying to get him to, he's leaning back. On his right eye, he has like a little black circle around it and then a black patch just below his right eye, like to the side and then below right here. And then his left eye is pretty much solid white all around it. You hear me say, oh, his eyes are blue. We're not sure if they're going to stay blue, blah, blah, blah. Well, 99% of the time they don't. So I don't even talk about it. Almost all puppies' eyes are blue for the first, like when they first open them. And then they usually darken, right? The only reason I'm saying in these videos, oh, this is a really bright blue, hopefully they stay blue. The only reason I'm saying that is because their father has blue eyes, right? So because their father has blue eyes, their chance of these ones staying blue is very good, obviously. But he's sleeping right now, but his eyes out of all of them are the bluest. It's like an icy blue, like a very bright blue. So again, I could be wrong, but I think his eyes are going to stay blue. When they're born, all their feet and noses are pink, and then they darken as they get older. For him, they didn't darken. So everybody's nose has already turned black. His stayed pink and his feet stayed pink. He has black speckles on the middle of his mouth and the tip of his nose, and his one foot right here has a couple of black speckles. The rest are all pink. So, and he's got the bluest eyes. So he's a male koi, and his temporary nickname is Domino. Yeah, that's Domino. Okay, little man. And that brings me to our only panda pug that out of this entire litter. Stuart and Waffles have panda markings, but they're merle. Sorry. Domino and Rocky Road have panda markings, but no, what am I doing? Stuart and Domino are the kois, which is panda markings and merle, so they're koi. Rocky Road is merle. Waffles is merle. I think Pistachio's merle. Oh, sorry, sweetie. But, you know, I could be wrong because it's hard to tell with her coat. So, I mean, the DNA results will let us know. But Milkshake, which is the last one, is the only one out of all six that she's just pure panda pug. And when I say pure panda pug, what I mean is she's solid black and solid white with nothing else. So there's no other variation there. It's just like her back end is black, and she's got the white blotches around her neck and shoulders, and then her undercarriage is white with the black pattern, and then she's got the black around the eyes and her ears. So she is, she's not coy, she's not Merle, she's just a panda pug. And when I say just a panda pug, I mean this is what we were hoping for. If we would have had a whole litter of panda pugs, it would have been great. But we got one panda pug. Look at her. Yeah, that's right. She's almost looking right at the camera. Oh no. Try to get her to. Oh boy. So we have one panda pug out of the bunch, and then we have two Coys, two Merles, and then poor little Pistachio. She might be Coy, she might be Merle. I'm not sure. We have to wait for the DNA test, and then we have her. So this one is Milkshake. She's a panda pug, and sleeping. Her eyes seem to be darkening. I can't quite tell. Yeah, no, they're still pretty blue, but they might be darkening a bit. It's hard to tell. But yeah, I wanted to keep her back as well, but we just can't. We don't have, we're not able to. But she's perfect. Oh, sweetie. So I also wanted to, yeah, so last one is a female. Female panda pug, temporary nickname, Milkshake. So I actually wanted to talk about their frame, because you see some pugs that have like this longer, skinnier legs, and some pugs have the short legs and they're thicker bone, thicker frame. Some pugs, their nose, it might be slightly protruding. Well, if your pug is fawn or black, there is no reason for that, because fawn, black are basically, that's your standard pug, right? These pugs aren't. So these pugs aren't recognized by the American Kennel Club or the Canadian Kennel Club, because they were played with 6, 7 plus generations ago, right? Like 60, 70 years ago, or possibly more. And what they did was they used strains from, whether it be Frenchies or English Bulldogs, I'm not sure, that's beyond my learning curve, but it was so many generations ago that in order to get the different coats, but now when they're DNA tested, they come back at 99.9 or 0.8 pug. You know what I mean? So by all means, they're pugs now, but there's always that slight chance when you get what's considered a designer pug, or whatever people want to call it, when you get a brindle or a Merle or a Coy or a panda, there's always that slight chance that there could be a slight protrusion of the nose, or maybe an elongated back or legs, because they're like 99 point whatever percent pure pug, but there's that small little hair from 7, 8 plus generations ago, right? So I wanted to mention that, because if one had one of those features, but we got really lucky, they don't. Every single one, if I was to pick one up and show you like the side view, every single one, none of them have the protruding nose. They all have the classic pug, sorry, sweetie. They all have the classic pug feature. The very flat face, the very broad head, the short, fat, wrinkly little legs. So we got lucky when it comes to that. I don't know if I could tilt this camera. I'll try, but look at that. Little sleeping babes. I'm probably going to end the feed because I don't want to bore you too much. I can't, if there's a way that I could pick, too bad it's on the tripod. I can't really move it that well on the tripod. Let me see. No, that's no good. I was trying to get a close up here, but It seems like the reason I was trying to tilt it is it almost seems like when I pick the puppy up and I hold it up, it doesn't seem, see, like you don't really see the face as good when I bring the puppy in. Or maybe you do, but it seems to darken a bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, sweetie. So there. Yeah. So just to sum it up, so you don't have to backtrack. Rocky Road, Waffles, and Stewart. Oh, perfect. These three. This one, and this one. These three are not available. And Milkshake, Pistachio, and Domino are available. There's a link in the description to all of our social media sites. So you could, when you click on that, it'll direct you to our Facebook page. You can message us on Facebook. And then once you reach out to us on Facebook, if you're serious about wanting a pug, then we'll give you our cell phone and you can text us. And then when you text us, it's through text that we do all confirmation and updates and whatnot through text. But aside from that, I've got a couch full of sleeping babies here. Here's Coconut. Casper. And Alphagetti. That's Mom right there. And then just over my shoulder, I don't know if you can see her, that's Dixie. That's Do Right Diddy. That's Dixie Do Right. Okay. All right, Do Right. I know. It's like as soon as you touch them, they're like, what? We're getting a treat? Okay, I'm going to end the live feed. I think my next video, well, I shouldn't say my next video, but very soon I'm going to do a video once they're on, the puppy mush. But I'll probably do a video maybe out walking with the dogs, or maybe I'll do a live video just of the puppies at night for people that have already, like, we only have one couple so far that's reserved Stewart. But I'm thinking of setting it up where I'll turn off the audio because I want to be able to watch TV when I'm up all night with the puppies, right? And if the TV's on, then I think I would get a copyright strike. So what I could do is I could block the audio of the live stream and I can have the camera set just above the puppies. And I can so let me know if you guys think it would be nice to have just a live stream running with no audio, just so you can see the puppies, especially if you're, if you're some of the people that are going to be reserving them, then you could just tune in and check on your puppies whenever you want. All right. Aside from that, I'm going to end the live stream. You guys have a good night. It's 9:45 my time. So Terry had gone to a concert tonight with the kids, so I'll be picking them up soon. So I think if I end the live stream, I'll have just enough time to clean the puppies a little bit. Let them sleep. I woke them up enough. In about an hour, I'm going to give them a little bit of a cleaning and then let them eat one more time, and then I'll go pick her up from the concert. All right, you guys have